Revealed. The narcissist secretly wants to hear your voice again because of their unspoken longing. Psychologists have long noted that narcissists struggle with genuine closure. This isn't just stubbornness, it's a fundamental inability to process loss in a healthy, adult way. Even when a narcissist has smeared you, painted you as the villain, or claimed they hate you, that doesn't equate to closure. It's a manipulation. They want to keep you tethered to their orbit, even if only in the background, so they can maintain a sense of control over your emotional energy. Think about it. In a normal, mature relationship, romantic, platonic, professional, if one person decides to leave, they provide closure. They communicate clearly, they acknowledge the shared history, they allow the other person to move on. A narcissist? Psychologists describe them as incapable of this. They leave things incomplete, fragmented, and messy, not because they don't care, but because they can't process authenticity in connection. They are wired to maintain a psychological foothold over you, and every action they take is aimed at preserving that invisible tether. You might notice the mixed signals. Perhaps they reach out occasionally, sending a message, liking your posts, or subtly trying to intrude into your life. These are not signs of reconciliation. They are attempts to bait you, to gauge whether you are still emotionally available, whether you can still be manipulated into filling the gap they left. Clinical psychologists would describe this as a classic hoovering tactic. A narcissist draws you back in, often subtly, to reclaim the emotional supply they've lost. Here's the critical insight. If you attempt to engage, they will move the goalposts. They will make it more complicated, more confusing. That's because their goal was never to genuinely reconcile or repair the relationship. They want to assert dominance, to control the narrative, to ensure you remain in the background while they pursue their own desires. Any attempt on your part to gain clarity will likely be met with deflection, gaslighting, or subtle emotional manipulation. The path forward, according to psychological guidance on narcissistic abuse, is radical self-reliance. You must go in your own lane. You must rebuild yourself independently. Time and distance are your allies. As you maintain this separation, you will realize something profound. By the time the narcissist decides to bridge the gap, to test if you are still available or malleable, you will no longer want to engage. You will have already found the closure that the narcissist could never give you. Closure, psychologists emphasize, must come from within. Waiting for the narcissist to give it to you is a trap. They cannot provide it. They cannot validate your worth in any genuine way, nor can they acknowledge the harm they have caused. They are preoccupied with maintaining control, with ensuring that you remain emotionally tethered so they can pick up the pieces once again. But this time, you are stronger, wiser, and more aware. You no longer need their approval or recognition. The challenge, then, is clear. Reclaim your closure internally. Separate yourself from their narrative. Don't measure your self-worth by their disdain, manipulation, or silence. Recognize that their actions are a reflection of their limitations, not your value. Psychologists remind survivors of narcissistic abuse that this internal reclamation is a cornerstone of true recovery. It is how you regain agency, how you define the boundaries that the narcissist will never respect. So, remember, the narcissist may hope you will pick up the pieces again, but you have already done that once, and you are no longer available for that. Your power lies in your silence, your independence, and your unwavering commitment to your own healing. That is the closure they cannot steal from you. Psychologists studying narcissistic behavior emphasize one truth above all. The narcissist thrives on control, not connection. This is why you cannot be there for them emotionally. You must extinguish the desire for their validation. You must let go of the impulse to have a conversation, to explain yourself, or to seek answers from them. Because psychologists remind us, closure cannot be handed to you by someone who is fundamentally incapable of giving it. Closure must come from within. This is the challenge ahead of you, and it is a true test of self-mastery. Many people have shared with me that they've reached this place of internal closure, and for those of you who have, your insights could help others. In a community of healing, sharing strategies for reclaiming your own power is essential. It reinforces the truth. The narcissist may want to hear from you again, but that desire is never about reconciliation or understanding. It is about control. Time and psychological phenomena like the fading effect bias play into this. Researchers define fading effect bias as the tendency for individuals to remember negative events less harshly over time, sometimes viewing past interactions in a more positive light. For a narcissist, this means that even after they've burned bridges, ghosted, or abandoned you, they may begin to see you again in a more favorable light. They become obsessed, not with you as a person, but with regaining the power they once had over you. They wait for your call, your message, your engagement, because it represents an opportunity to reassert dominance. Psychologists note that this is a common tactic. When you reach out, when you break the boundary you set, the narcissist immediately shifts the goalposts. Suddenly, your attempt at connection becomes a playground for manipulation. They gain temporary supply, feeding off the emotional energy they extract from your vulnerability. This is why so many survivors report a cycle of breaking up, reconnecting, and breaking up again. The narcissist is less interested in love and more invested in power games. It is losing the love of your life multiple times in a single night. But the truth is, the relationship was never love to begin with. The path forward is clear, psychologists argue. Detach fully, reclaim your autonomy, and generate closure internally. This closure is not contingent on the narcissist's actions or decisions. It is not a reflection of your deficiencies, nor does it hinge on something you lack. In fact, psychologists point out, narcissists deliberately try to instill feelings of inadequacy in order to maintain control. Recognizing this manipulation is essential to breaking free. Your task, therefore, is twofold. First, to remove the desire for their validation, and second, to cultivate self-sourced closure. Accept the reality of the situation. Acknowledge the narcissist's limitations and understand that their decisions are a reflection of their pathology, not your worth. Psychologists affirm that this internal process is the cornerstone of healing from narcissistic abuse. It is what allows you to regain control, restore emotional balance, and finally, move forward without the weight of their influence. So remember, do not engage, do not justify, do not seek permission or approval from someone who cannot give it. Your power lies in silence, in detachment, and in reclaiming your own emotional sovereignty. That is the true victory, the closure that the narcissist can never steal from you. Psychologists will tell you this. What you are experiencing is manipulation, an intentional entrapment designed to break your sense of worth. Narcissists are masters at planting doubt. They want you to question your value, your meaning, your identity. Why? Because the weaker you feel, the easier it is for them to maintain control. Think about it. One day they praise you, idolize you, elevate you as though you are the best thing that has ever happened to them. And then, the next moment, they tear you down for the very same qualities they once admired. Clinical psychologists call this devaluation, a key stage in the narcissistic abuse cycle. It is not about truth, it is about control. Narcissists are liars by nature. So ask yourself, why would they tell you the truth this one time? The reality is this: their treatment of you has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their poor decisions, their pathological need for supply, and their inability to sustain a healthy, genuine relationship. And here's the crucial part. Psychologists emphasize that on some level, the narcissist knows this. That's precisely why they withhold closure. They gamble. They think, I'll move on to this new supply, I'll distract myself, but I'll keep you in the background just in case. This is what experts describe as shelving. Narcissists place people, past partners, past friends, past colleagues, on a psychological shelf. They don't contact them regularly. They don't invest. But they keep them there, like possessions, like trophies, knowing they can reach out at any moment and test whether the person will accept them back. And far too often, people do. But you must be different. You must break that cycle. That is why finding closure within yourself is the ultimate act of empowerment. And psychologists are clear. Closure that comes from self-blame, I was too much of this, not enough of that, will never heal you. That kind of closure is counterfeit. True closure only comes when you accept the deeper reality. The narcissist was never capable of sustaining a healthy, reciprocal relationship. Not because you lacked something, but because they are psychologically impaired in their ability to love with consistency, empathy, and endurance. Every relationship has ups and downs. Mature, emotionally healthy individuals can persevere through conflict. But narcissists, they sabotage, they destroy, and after showering you with love bombing, their obsession with tearing you down becomes the clearest proof that something is profoundly wrong within them, not within you. Psychologists urge survivors to look beneath the surface. On the outside, the narcissist seems confident, even triumphant, moving forward with new supply. But beneath the veil, they are faltering. They are trying, desperately, to mold the new supply into you. And here's the truth, it never works. They cannot recreate what they lost. They cannot duplicate the authentic connection they once exploited. Over time, even the narcissist begins to realize this. So your task is to anchor your healing in this truth. Their failure is not your burden. Their inability to sustain love is not your reflection. And the closure you seek is not in their words, but in your decision to step away, to refuse the shelf, and to claim your worth once and for all. Psychologists describe this as a kind of narcissistic awakening, but not the kind you might hope for. Many people don't realize it, but narcissists actually go through a process where they finally grasp a painful truth. It wasn't their manipulation that kept you near. They were never the source of your devotion or your energy. It was always you. And this realization? It terrifies them. Because they've already burned bridges, left chaos in their wake, and now all they can do is cling to a fragile hope. A dangerous, desperate hope that one day, you might reach back, you might call, you might try to engage again. Psychologists point out that this is why no contact is the ultimate weapon against a narcissist. Every day you don't respond, every day you maintain your boundaries, they feel a narcissistic injury, a psychic wound, because the control they thought they had is slipping further from their grasp. Their mind starts spinning. You're not pursuing me, you're pursuing someone else, or worse, you're living your life without me at all. And this is where the power shift happens. When you are genuinely healing, evolving, ascending, and refusing to settle for mediocrity, you utterly dismantle the illusion they've built. You show, through your growth and self-possession, that the devotion they once exploited was never theirs to command. Psychologists call this reclaiming your agency. You take your life back, and in doing so, you strip the narcissist of their illusion of omnipotence. Even when you cautiously step into new relationships, friendships, romantic connections, you quickly recognize what is authentic and what is not. You don't settle for less than your worth. You're guided by the awareness and insight gained through past abuse. And the narcissist? They cannot fathom this. They cannot understand a life being lived fully, intentionally, and unapologetically without them. At the core of the narcissist, beneath all the surface-level anger, revenge plots, and manipulations, lies a simple, raw truth. They feel inadequate without you. They can't accept it. They can't accept that their life feels emptier, weaker, less potent without having you as a pillar of their world. So, their coping mechanism? Fighting with themselves through you, hurting you in a feeble attempt to restore their illusion of power. Psychologists refer to this as projection of internal inadequacy, their inability to feel whole without the source of their narcissistic supply. But here's the empowering truth. You no longer need to be part of their world. You don't need their validation, their engagement, or their control. Every step you take on your own path, every moment you choose growth over grudges, is a victory. Psychologists emphasize that this is the ultimate form of self-liberation. When they realize you are gone, truly gone, and thriving without them, that is their real defeat. You've reclaimed your life. You've reclaimed your energy. And no surface-level manipulation or vengeance can change that. Psychologists have observed that narcissists often experience a creeping awareness, a slow realization that they no longer hold the influence they once had over you. But here's the catch. They haven't fully accepted it. And this incomplete awareness is exactly why they continue to lash out, to manipulate, to try and destabilize you. Every passing day without your attention, every moment you reclaim your own energy, only adds to their frustration. Think about it. They forget the reasons the relationship ended in the first place. Even if circumstances force you to interact, co-parenting, work situations, or mutual obligations, their current frustration isn't truly about past grievances. The psychologists call this misattributed resentment. The real source of their anger is simple yet profound. It's because you've ignored them. Because you've gone in your own direction. Because you've reclaimed your autonomy. You've pulled away, and that is their greatest humiliation. This is why the path forward for you is healing and reclaiming yourself. Many experts suggest a structured approach. Start with no contact. Redirect your energy inward. Accept that the ending of this relationship is guided by forces outside your control. Call it fate, the universe, or God, whatever resonates with you. Psychologists highlight that this externalization helps reduce obsessive rumination and guilt. Then, focus on cultivating excitement for your future. Channel your energy into your purpose, your growth, your aspirations. Life teaches us over and over how to cope with loss. You've already faced unimaginable challenges, losing loved ones, experiencing grief, enduring moments of heartbreak that many could never survive. If you've endured the loss of parents, siblings, or even children, you understand the power of resilience. Walking away from a narcissist, reclaiming closure, and freeing yourself from their manipulations is simply another form of survival. Another mountain you are capable of conquering. Here's a key psychological insight. The narcissist wants to hear from you again. But don't misread this. This isn't about reconciliation or care. They are grappling with their own internal battles. They are ruminating over the loss of your supply, the energy and attention they once extracted effortlessly. Psychologists describe this as obsession with lost supply. They may harbor fondness, admiration, even a twisted attachment, but it's always rooted in control and narcissistic needs, not genuine affection. And here's the chilling truth. They prefer negative supply. Your anger, your frustration, your attempts to seek validation, these are intoxicating to them. It's more potent than positivity, and they know it. Some narcissists hold on to memories of you, replaying them in their minds, ruminating endlessly on what they can no longer control. Psychologists call this cognitive fixation, a pattern where the narcissist mentally clings to the influence they have lost, even when the bridge is fully burned. So, your mission is clear. Do not engage. Do not pick up the phone. Do not validate them or give them the satisfaction of a reaction. Let the silence speak. Let your growth, your healing, and your autonomy do the talking. The more you thrive in your own lane, the more the narcissist is left powerless, obsessing over what they can no longer manipulate. You are free. You are empowered. And in the eyes of psychology, the ultimate triumph over narcissistic abuse isn't revenge. It's your unshakable, unbending self-possession.